Learn as we go. All
Yeah,
right,
it works with me introducing you.
let's
So,
go.
welcome to another pod. We have Dmitry Koltunov with us today. He's the founder and CEO at Arbor. Yeah, we're gonna have fun today. He's an ex-CTO. He's a storyteller. He's a parent, startup community lead. So, Dmitry, welcome to pod. Brief intro
Hey,
about
hey.
yourself is how it works. Yeah, what have you been up to?
Oh man, yeah. So I'm a second-time founder, and I guess a permanent glutton for the punishment of figuring out how to make things that people care about.
It's two of
So it's
us.
been, yeah, yeah. It's kind of like I've had two kids, and when you have the first kid, you're like, this is hard, and then totally forget it, and then you have the second kid, you're like, oh yeah, now I
This is
remember.
hard.
It's still hard. It
Still
hasn't
hard.
changed. But
Yeah, or
just
Iron Man's right, or ultras like it's a disease, right? The brain likes to have you forget how hard it was, that you can do it
that's right.
again.
So you do it again, but it's also just incredible and just fun to do. So I've been building technology and enterprise tech for over 20 years, and started as transactionally as one could be, working in finance, building trading systems, and working at a hedge fund. Eventually moved kind of towards the humanity side, building hotel and hospitality operation systems, and then now going full human, building authentic storytelling services for the largest companies in the world, helping people communicate and connect through authentic messaging. And so it's been super interesting. I generally stayed in enterprise the entire time, but I like to think of this as making my pilgrimage back to the humanity side of things, which is exciting.
Yeah, interesting. Can we stay authentic in the corporate realm? Like, isn't like everything phrased to create more sales nowadays? Like, I'm a big believer in storytelling, and I sort of know the answer to that already. But
Yeah, 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 yeah.
corporaties, like, are don't you have to lobotomize their brain and have them rethink everything from scratch?
Right, right. What was that show, Severance, where you have to separate? No, I think there's a really amazing shift happening right now in the corporate world in general, because there's a realization that as everything gets commoditized, the true resource that people have are the thought leaders inside of the company. And so it's not that can you, it's you have to have some authenticity, because if you have 20 executives and they're all saying exactly the same words, then it actually doesn't help at all. And so what does help is for people to have character, for people to have connection, and for people to be able to engage on a very human level while sharing their insights. Because that's what contextualizes us. I remember speaking to an executive who was overseeing a very large wealth management platform. And you look at their background, and it's Ivy League, worked at a large bank, just beautiful, like the pristine resume, but a resume that you would see anywhere that you generally go, like everything top notch. But when we were chatting, he started telling me how when he graduated school, his roommate was the son of a shipping magnate, and he came from a very blue collar world. And so he actually went on working with ships, and he started to get to know the family. And one of the things that he realized was managing wealth for extremely successful families was a challenge, because they wanted to create mission, they wanted to create purpose. And that is what led him to get this law degree from a prestigious college, and eventually to lead the wealth management platform at this large place. And that story helps you understand, why am I going to trust this individual? Because everyone's got that same resume. But when I understand your path, I also understand your intentions. I understand your trajectory, and I can build trust, which is really what we're looking to do, right? Who do I trust to do business with, to manage my capital, and to guide me in a decision that is important?
And why come back to your humanity in the age of AI? Because everyone's running at the other side of the platform and doubling down on AI. I mean, the 1% humans will stay, right? Like, I think
Yeah.
we're gonna forever evolve, but aren't you like missing out on everything new that's happening in the AI wave and world?
You know, I've been a tool builder my
As a
entire
next
life.
CTO, that we should preface
Yeah.
that next CTO.
I've been a tool builder my entire life, and when we talk about it in the company, we jokingly say we like to build the Iron Man suit, not iRobot. It's all about accelerating the potential of the individual rather than replacing the individual with a bot. And from my first job, when I was sitting next to traders who were moving 10 million every moment, and I sat and said, what can I do to make you better? What can I optimize to improve your decision quality? And I think AI just lets us do that more and more and more. So what, to me, every time technology accelerates, what's exciting is learning how people do the work that they do and figuring out how to lean into that work. And specifically around video and comms and storytelling, you're seeing OpenAI and Google and all these models come out that allow us to replicate pretty much anything in video. I recently saw I forget, seen something. It came out of China and it created these fight scenes between I think Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt, and it wasn't real, but it looked real. And so, and that's just now. I mean, a year from now, we're going to be able to get even more real looking stuff. But to me, that's fun, but that's not necessarily.
Dmitry, I think your connection lagged out. Um, yeah, Dimitri's gonna reconnect his stuff. Yeah, while he's back, maybe I can speak a little bit about some of my thoughts on the topic. So the question is like in
Oh,
the age of it. Oh, you're back now.
did I lose? Yes. Sorry. That was a weird
That
Wi-Fi
was
blip.
AI not agreeing with you
Yeah, like that's what happens
and
when you
DDoSing your machine.
that's right. He's speaking out of turn. Get him. Um, so yeah, I think
That's like U.S. defense system mass surveillance turning back on you.
so. The thing that we do, right, like at Arbor, is we help corporate communication teams compress the time from the message being said to the message being delivered to the widest possible audience. And so, what's important to us is to deliver that message authentically. And what does authentically mean? It means as intended, with the real story and the real voice of the individual who did the messaging. And so, authentically, you asked right at the top, how does authenticity work with AI? Authentically doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to have the same conversation with my board as I'm going to have with my kids. But that doesn't mean that one or the other isn't authentic. It's always, I think authenticity is contextual. And so when a CEO is speaking about a change in the company or a new direction, and they have a town hall and it takes 45 minutes to get the full message out, what if people didn't make that? How do you take the most important moments of that and put it in the hands of the staff and not wait a month to do that, which is what is happening right now, right? So these big organizations, they have all this great messaging, but unless you were at the event, the timeline is massive. So what we do is we use AI to compress that timeline, and it's authentic because we're not recreating the CEO. We are taking the words that were said by the people that said them, using AI to find them, and then cutting and packaging it in a way that lets people appreciate it and meets the audience where they are.
Right, right. I think AI is super good at storytelling and contextually modifying messages, but I think where most of your worth is coaching these boomers and teaching them how to speak, and that it's okay. Nothing's bad's gonna happen if you share your true story, right? Like, I think that's a gigantic part of your service. Hey, I wanna push like two PR events that happen as of late on you, and see like
Let's go. See
yeah,
if I got
and
proper training.
yeah, I'd love to ask your opinion for real on these two. So, the first one is Jack Dorsey firing 6,000 employees out of 10,000 on X not so long ago. What that was authentic, but how did that pan out?
I think it's really hard to understand where the day-to-day decisions like that come from unless you're on the inside. I mean, I read maybe 15 minutes worth of what happened in the company, but
Same
I,
here, but I
I,
do
I
have
don't
an
know. I don't know
opinion.
if I can comment on enough of it. But the thing for me is, I mean, he messaged it in the way that the people that he connects with wanted to hear. He was open about it. So I think the actual messaging was fine, and I think it landed well. What happened there? It seems like they overhired in a really meaningful way, and they found that there was a different path to maintain a good business model, which is revenue per employee. So for me, authenticity is really about being connected to the ground and to yourself in the process of doing it. And yeah, I don't know, it, maybe that's exactly what they needed in order to run a good company. So
Well, I
that
think
happened
just
before and
the
after.
decision itself is super contrarian, right? It was super bold and probably the right decision to be taken, right? So even though I do think, yeah, the PR wasn't there, like the question is who was the company advertently affected by this post? I don't think there was a good way to phrase that, right? I don't think there was a good story to tell here. Like I think is one of these decisions like, oh, someone died. Is there like a right way to actually speak to the death of someone? Probably not.
Yeah. But
Or can you spin a story on that?
objectively, like I'm not a comms specialist. Like I would never hire myself to build a comm strategy for Jack Dorsey. So like I would say I'm not even qualified to necessarily comment on that. What I do is work with those experts, and once they know what message they want to say, we find authentic ways to put that out using AI and compress the time from message to distribution. But I'm in awe of folks that do comms and PR strategy because they have to, it's like surfing the human wave. They have to understand exactly where sentiment is and what is being said in the market and where the edge or the location for their executive to land something should be, and then activate that through text and video and appearances. It's that incredible thing that I don't fully understand how to do, but I've seen great people do it, and I like working with them.
So you only navigate calm waters.
No, I love navigating choppy waters. Except I'm not the when it comes to comms. There's somebody who is specialized in kind of steering, and I make the ship that they steer.
Okay, because my second one was yes, Sam Altman getting the defense contract, which I think
Oh,
is
that was
pretty much the
fascinating.
well, I mean, I think it's a PR disaster. I don't. I mean, probably Sam has like very good PR advice. I think his logic was like, even though if it's contrarian and if it's gonna create like noise on the back end, it's gonna get all the patriotic type of people, which is most of US, which is Trump audience base for sure. So have you observed and analyzed that one?
Barely.
Barely.
I also think OpenAI problems are no longer like just like human
Too
problem.
big
Like,
to fail.
what did they just raise? Like $100 billion
10 billion.
or
Yeah.
something like that. It's. I don't think they're a company anymore. They're almost like a nation state, and
Oh yeah.
so it's it's a thing that I'm massively uninformed about when it comes when you're dealing with that much influence. I think the amount of things that we see are are tiny slivers of an iceberg. So who knows why they made that decision?
But isn't it interesting to see like the different storytelling of both, right? And Sam began as like a nonprofit and then reversed the narrative on getting profits, which I think makes sense, by the way. And then Dario, he's like the more
Yeah,
careful guy, but also Dario, I mean, he's also like a predator, right? Like you've seen the ads they did on OpenAI, right? And I mean, he fed on Sam's hands. So isn't it like fascinating to see like the different stories they create and portray publicly?
yeah. It's like watching a soap opera. I think
Yeah.
just seeing them joust with each other is just like the whole thing requires popcorn, and you get your weekly episodes. But I think it was a great post that I saw on X once Sam announced the deal. It was like nonprofit to for profit to Department of War. That went fast.
Yeah, yeah,
like,
for sure.
yeah, like so. Yeah, I mean, I think it's honorable for people to
But
stick by
isn't
their.
this narrative obvious? Isn't it like what people will think like this and will have like adverse consequences on the company? Isn't that obvious? That like humans will immediately create that ABC narrative?
I don't know. Again, I'm not a PR specialist, so
But the
I actually
stories you
don't.
convey, you need to think about your audience and how they will convey it, right? And if the masses are using chat gpt, that's the exact story they'll create in their mind. So when you create a story for your clients, you're thinking of the end clients, right? And how they will perceive it.
Well, we don't create the story, to be candid. We build the technology. They create the story, right? So we're not an agency. We don't have strategic advisory. People use Arbor in the comms function to accelerate the story that they have in their mind. Um, so they'll go in and they'll add the goals, they'll add the audiences, and then they'll wield AI to optimize the intentions that they had to be best received by the folks that they want to be in the audience, given the goals that they had. So it's really about targeting. That's what I think about. But the message that comes in, it could be whatever message the comms leadership thinks is right. Um, our job is to more smooth it, find the most salient moments, and package it for distribution.
Got it. And tell me about the platform in itself, right? Like, I mean, there's no pricing on the website. I need to book a demo to get an idea of it. Yeah, like how does it work? What's the pricing? Who's your ICP? Give me a bit more details.
Yeah, so we work with enterprise communications teams, and we help them, like I mentioned before, compress the timeline from an event happens to getting information about that event out to the public. And the way that it works is you have a video. It's usually an hour long, maybe half an hour, something like that, of multiple people sharing insights. And you drop that into the platform, and we use AI to find magic moments and repackage them for distribution, applying all the different brand guidelines, targeting it towards specific audiences, specific goals, and then giving people both an automated way to generate that content, as well as tools where they can come in and make whatever specific changes they want. Move the lower thirds, rewrite a particular paragraph, change the quote in a quote card. And we built this tool around the workflow that somebody who's running a communications function is going through every single day. having them be able to do their job without depending on third-party agencies or their backed up creative services team.
Got it. And what, so industry agnostic, I would guess, or
Yeah,
specific?
yeah, we're doing a lot of work right now with a combination of healthcare and finance. It works well in
Finance, yeah.
regulated
I would have guessed
industries.
finance.
It's funny, I kind of found my way back to finance after all these years. But the interesting part is we work with any organization that has a communications team. And usually orgs, unless they're 200, 500 people at the minimum, they don't have a comms team yet. That's a function that emerges with size. But once they have the comms team, then we can help them spread that message wider. And thought leadership is so important right now. One of our customers we were talking to, and they said their main goal is to turn their executives into thought leaders. And their executives already are thought leaders, but they're thought leaders to a very small set of people because they're in the rooms with the executives. And so how do you amplify their voice? And that's what we think about.
Thought leaders, man. Like I hate that word. I know what you mean though. Like it's to share your opinions on stuff in a valuable way, right? To your end ICP. And the price tag, is it like 1,000 per month, per user? Like how does that work? I use Opus, for example. Your platform would
Yeah.
be some kind of Opus, but with redistributed channel, which I like, by the way. It's a fine thesis. What's the price on that?
Yeah. So yeah, no, I love. I think those tools are all great. We price like any enterprise software. It kind of starts in the like 5-figure range and then kind of goes up. And when you think about enterprise software, there's a part that's the functionality, and then everything else is security, governance, collaboration. Like we're not a tool, we're a workflow that has a tool built into it. Because if you're a podcaster, sure, you can get a tool that says, I got a video, create some clips, I'm moving on. If you're a department within a large organization, that needs to get approved by compliance, that needs to go through a number of stages on the executive side. Any tool you use needs to go through corporate IT. It needs to be secure. Your IP can't leave. And so when we think about the value that we add, we're thinking about it from the enterprise adopting a new workflow rather than dropping a tool in the middle of the chain.
And your end user is like a video editor, or is
No, so it's interesting when you think about the makeup of a comms team, and this is something that was totally not obvious, but the corporate communications function has a creative services department that they'll go back to. That's where the videos live. But the number of videos to the number of comms people can sometimes be 1 to 50. So now you just had a conference and your video team put together that hour for you. And now they're on to their next project. Your executive just said some really incredible things and you want to get that information out to everyone else. So you're going to go back to them and say, hey, I need to get a reel of this. Say, great, 6 weeks. Not because they don't want to do it, but because there's a 50-to-1 ratio. And so what are your options? Well, you can go to an agency, and that agency is expensive, and they're probably doing a lot more typically than just cutting a video for you, but you're stuck because you don't actually know how to do the thing. That's not the skill set. Most comms leaders are incredible writers, incredible strategists. They are not video editors. And so what we do is we empower them to be able to execute exactly what they want to do in minutes instead of months. So we're compressing that timeline massively.
Got it. I know you probably need to run. Where can people find out more about you, Dmitry?
Sure. They can go onto my LinkedIn, and can also check out our website, so arborplatform.com.
Yeah, that was Dmitry Koltunov, if you want to find him on LinkedIn, and Charles Cormier